امام زمان عليه السلام بلانتر صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى
So your topic for the 10 days, metanoia, the question, which will be answered in the Ashra of Muharam, is consistent transgression and reversion a necessary part of the human experience? Your lecture will be Syed Murtaza Naqvi of Watford. Salawat.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم.
ما شاء الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على سيدنا وعظيمنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد
وأهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الصادقين المظلومين المنتجبين المنتخبين الذين أذهب الله عنكم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى
الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على وصي مصطفى عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم أبي الحسنين مولى القونين إمام الثقلين يأسوب الدين سيد المتقين رأس المحسنين سلطان الأولياء أمير المؤمنين أول المسلمين أسد الله الغالب غالب كل غالب مظهر العجائب علي بن أبي طالب.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
الحمد لله الذي لا يحتك حجابه ولا يغلق بابه ولا يرد صائله ولا يخيب آمله. أما بعد، فيقول الله في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كلا إن الإنسان لا يطغى أن رآه استغنى. Brothers, sisters, respected elders, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام.
You find in yesterday's lecture we began the hadith, and inshallah tonight getting the feedback from all the brothers. Alhamdulillah, they're not too scared of hell just yet, so I think we should finish off the hadith. But you find that what we learned so far about the hadith is that the worst of Allah's creation indeed is not shaitan, but it is the munafiqeen, the hypocrites, the people who say one thing and do another. Those people who create fitna within the communities, known as the hypocrites. And you find we saw many, Sallu ala Muhammad wa alayhi
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
We saw many punishments that within the hadith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to put on individuals and also other beings of Allah's creation. We find, before I do continue on with the hadith, some of the children, I believe the question will be within their minds, if the children are thinking and listening to the speech, and even some of the adults, what happens to the animals? As in, do they go to hell or do they go to heaven? And many people may have this question in their mind, and the simple answer is no. They neither go to hell and they neither go to heaven, because they are not like human beings where they have a thought process and they know the difference between wrong and right. So therefore, like children, babies, they do not know the difference between wrong and right, and therefore when they are born they are ma'soom, so automatically they get entered into heaven. But you find with animals, because they are purely instinct, they live but they don't live at the same time. And therefore neither do they go to hell and neither do they go to heaven. And you find that we stopped at the hadith where the Prophet of God sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he came to the position where he fainted after hearing that his ummah was going to go to hell because of their major sins. And you find we stopped at the area where Lady Fatima asked her father, how will they go to hell? And you find that the Prophet replies, the men by their beards and women through their foreheads and hair. And I know I mentioned this part, but in order to understand the next part, I do need to repeat this part. Indeed, many old men in my community die and say while being led to the hellfire, O my elderness and O my weakness. And how many will die young and they will say, O my youth and O my beauty. And how many women in the community will die and say while being led to the hellfire, oh what a horrible discovery we have made, alas for removing our veils, removing our hijab. Until they reach Malik. So as you each and every one of you know, Malik is an angel. Malik is the governor of hell. So he takes care of everyone who comes in and indeed who goes out, if you're lucky enough to get out. So when Malik looks at them and he says to the angels, who are these people? My people have never entered in a state like theirs. Their faces are not darkened, their eyes are not blue, and their mouths are not closed. So the angels say, this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered these individuals to come to you. To which Malik says, who are these miserable people? Who are these miserable people? And in another tradition, you find that he says that these people, what do they say? That when they enter hell, there's two traditions. When they enter hell, some of them say, they say, oh Muhammad, oh Muhammad. When they saw Malik, they forgot. They forgot. So this question, at this juncture, we should ask this question, that why did they forget? Brothers and sisters, when you memorize something, why do you forget? One reason why you forget is because you don't practice that thing. You don't revise it. For example, I don't know, reading something like Surah Tawheed, Qul Huwallahu Ahad. If you don't read it regularly, at least once a month, twice a month, you begin to forget it. these individuals, another reason why people forget is because of shock. Isn't it? Sometimes people become so scared that they don't even remember their own names. Then sometimes someone sees someone so beautiful, they forget their own names as well. But in this case, there's no concept of beauty. They say Malik, when people look upon Malik, they become so frightened that everything within their very being they forget. They don't remember anything. And you find that's exactly what happens. And then Malik asks them once again, he says, who are you people? He says, who are you? And they say, we are the people of the Quran, descended upon the Muslims. And then we are among those who are fasting in the months of Ramadan. Very important point to note here is that these individuals were fasting, they were praying, they were doing the good a'mal, but they still ended up in hell. Why? Because they were involved in Gunai Kabira, the big sins. Malik then says that the Quran was descended upon the community of Muhammad, to which the people begin to scream, yes, we are the community of Muhammad, yes, we are the community of Muhammad. And Malik says a phenomenal line. A phenomenal line. I want each and every one of you to pay attention to this. He says, was there not anything within the Quran which would have saved you from sins? Did Surah Rahman, where it says that what sort of bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do you deny? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is this? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahman, allama al-Quran, khalaqa al-insan, allamahu al-bayan. He says that the merciful ar-Rahman, allama al-Quran, taught you the Quran. How did he teach you? By giving you sight, by giving you aql, by giving you hearing. Khalaqa al-insan, he created man, and what? Allamahu al-bayan. He gave you the mode of speech, the power of talking. How did we use these blessings, brothers and sisters? So when they take them onto the banks of hell, they will see the fire and the Zabaniya. What's the Zabaniya? Zabaniya are those angels. See, when we have this concept of angels, we think, angels, mashallah, so beautiful. Yes, we have this angels, this concept of angel. Within the movie industry, within the music industry, you find that it's depicted as something very beautiful. But you find in hell, the angels are the most frightening thing that you've ever seen. These are still angels though. They're called Zabaniya. The ones that will hit you with the maces and, take you to hell and escort you, in the fire. They will be called Zabaniya. And I want each and every one of you to focus on these next, because this is the crux of this hadith. For me and my topic, metanoia, this is the crux. Why? And before I go into this part, I want to highlight something to you. See, in order to enter a state of spiritual conversion, metanoia, to enter a state of changing the mind and the soul, metanoia, then one must be able to weep. You must be able to cry. Now I'm not saying go home and watch a movie, right? Or watch a sort of, saddening scene, like in Braveheart, for example, where you start crying. No, that's not what I'm telling you to do. What I'm trying to tell you is that we need to cleanse our hearts so that we can cry truly for Abu Abdullah. Because many of us, when we cry, see, I'll be honest with you, I personally have a major problem. Why? Because when many people, when I remember when I was doing my degree in Islamic studies, I done a topic where I done a quiz, and in that quiz I asked the question. I said, do you really cry for Abu Abdullah, or do you cry because you lost this, because you lost your mum, because you lost your dad, because you lost X, Y, and Z in your family? And do you really cry for Abu Abdullah? And there was no names, obviously, so people told the truth, So they told the truth. And when they told the truth, I found that majority of people, when they're listening to the story of Abu Abdullah, they're not crying for Abu Abdullah. They're crying because they've got X problem, Z problem, Y problem. They've got all these problems, but they're not actually giving tears for the story, for the love of Ali Muhammad. See, a big difference, brothers and sisters. Just because you're listening to something doesn't mean you're crying over that thing. Like I remember, when I was young, I'll give you an example when I was young, when I was their age. And I watched a Disney movie. I'm not going to mention which one it is, because then you might go home and watch it, and that's not what I want you to do. But when I was younger, I was watching a Disney movie, and every time that part would come, every time I would cry. But why would I cry? Not because of the part in the movie, but because it reminded me of my father. Alhamdulillah, my father is alive, but it reminded me of my father, because when his father died, I thought, what if my father dies? So I'm not actually crying because of the event. I'm crying because of my own selfish reasons. It's two different things. Crying for the love of Abu Abdullah and crying for your own selfish whims. Then they say, oh Malik, allow us to cry over our state. The people are going to hell. Malik gives them permission. They shed tears until the point that blood begins to flow from their eyes. Malik then says those tears would have been welcomed in the passage of the dunya. If you had mourned for the fear of Allah in the world, the fire would not have touched you today. I want you to focus on one thing here. One thing very important. What did they say? When they saw the fire of hell. So when the account was happening, they didn't cry. When the angels were taking them to hell, they didn't cry. When they saw the fire of hell, then they started crying. See, that's a major problem. Many of us, what's happening with many of us? Many of us, we're like, well, we can't see Allah. We can't see Ahlul Bayt. We can't see hell. We can't see heaven. How do we know it's real? This is talking about people like us. It's saying people like us, we do not believe truly within our hearts, and we will not shed our tears until we are there in hell and the fire of hell is in front of us and the maces are struck on our backs. Brothers and sisters, the reason to why we don't truly believe that the hell is real, why we don't believe that heaven is the haqiqat, you know why? Because our nafs is not clean. Our hearts are not clean. We have made ourselves filthy because we continue in sinning and sinning. We never ask for astaghfirullah. We never ask for forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Malik says to the Zabaniya, throw them into the hellfire. When they are thrown into the hellfire, they all cry, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. I can imagine Malik just laughing at these individuals, saying, now you cry La ilaha illallah, like Fir'aun cried La ilaha illallah before he saw death. So one minute you're Ana Rabbukum al-A'la, next minute because you see the truth now, La ilaha illallah. Hypocrisy, isn't it? When the message was given to you, they said that book hasn't been changed for 1,400 years. The book says that Fir'aun, we took care of his body, he's in the Red Sea. Brothers and sisters, you can still see the face of Fir'aun if you go to the museum in that area. These are all proofs within the Holy Quran. In the Quran it talks about DNA. Only recently science discovered DNA, and that each person's fingerprint is unique. But no, we think that modernization is right and, Islam is incorrect. Because we show that through our actions. No one needs to say it. See, I don't need to come here and say to you that I don't believe in Islam. My actions will tell you that I don't believe in Islam. Simple. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm not here to, criticize anyone. Each and every one of us have our own grave. And I swear by God, each and every one of us will go to our own graves. But there's something called amal bil maruf wa nahi anil munkar, and that's what we have to do. And the reality is, I'm only going to come here and tell you once. In the Muharam, then that's it. I'm not going to come and tell you every single day. And the hellfire says, how can I take them whilst they're saying La ilaha illallah. Malik says that you must take them. Why? Because it is the amr of Ilahi. So the hellfire takes some by the feet, some by the legs, and some by the throat. And before I go on and continue with the hadith, I want to mention what Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullah he says, hypocrites are sad on their face, and within their hearts they rejoice at the world. A believer, a mu'min, is a man who is glad on his face, but his heart cries blood. So understand that one hadith, brother. Why? It's very important. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, so please don't think that, but the reality is, how many of us, including ourselves, and how many people do we know? Now when you see them, they're always crying. Always crying. This happened to me, that happened to me, this happened to me. And they're always complaining and complaining and complaining. What are they complaining about? The dunya. They're talking about the dunya all the time. Isn't it? Some people talking about dunya all the time. I've got this financial problem, my missus said this to me, or the other way around as well, sometimes. But you find that, you have these problems all the time. But all they do is complain and complain and complain. So they're always upset on the face. But in the heart they're thinking to themselves, I love this world. I really do. And then there's a people who are always happy. Whenever you see them, they come into the room, they light up the room. You want to talk to them. You want to look at them. You want to be with them. But it's those people, you know what they say? Those people who smile a lot, they cry a lot. That's what Amir is saying. Saying those people who are happy all the time, that they've got a broken heart. Those people who have broken hearts. And at night time, they're the ones who are praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they're crying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Brothers, just because someone sits here and someone sits there, I'll tell you, there's probably people in this room that are 10 times the man I'll ever be. That's me being honest with you. But you find that we need to change ourselves. Why? Because we don't want to end up in hell. And we don't want Malik to say, do not burn their faces, and has done sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And do not burn their hearts, because they were often thirsty in the month of Ramadan. And they say they would remain in that hellfire for a very long time. And they will call out, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahman, Ya Hannan, Ya Mannan. And Allah will ask Jibreel, what did we do with the community of Muhammad? And Jibreel says, oh Allah, you know best about their condition. Then Allah says, go and see their state. Then Jibreel went to meet Malik, who was sitting on the chair of fire in the middle of hell. When he sees Jibreel, Malik will rise out of the respect for him and he says, oh Jibreel, why did you come to such a place? Many of us are probably thinking, why is an angel on a seat of fire? Do you remember the story of Ibrahim? When Ibrahim, the fire was called for him? No problem, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not an issue for Allah. It says, what have you done to the people and the people who commit sins in the community of Muhammad? Malik said, they are in a very bad state. Jibreel says, show them to me. Then they say, Malik orders the guards of hell to show Jibreel what's happening. When people looked at Jibreel and saw his beauty, they knew that he was not a part of the angels of fire. And from the hellfire they call out, who is this creature? We have never seen such beauty. And Malik says, this is Jibreel, the one who went to your Prophet. And the people say, oh Jibreel, give our salam to Rasulullah and tell him to take us out from this state. And Jibreel goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and says, oh my Lord, they are in a bad state and a difficult one. And Allah says, did they ask you of something? Jibreel says, yes, they did. They asked to pass their salams to Rasulullah. So Jibreel went to see Prophet, who will be in a tent in a dhurra, white, that has 4,000 doors. Each door is composed of 2 gold parts. And Jibreel says, oh Muhammad, I came to you from the group of sinners of your community who suffer the tortures of the fire. They told me to pass their salam and tell you of the condition of their bad state. The Prophet, they say, goes towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and glorifies Allah in such a way that no man and no angel and no jinn has glorified Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To which Allah says, oh Nabi, lift your head and whatever you ask of me today I will give to you. And the Prophet says, oh Allah, look at the mercy of Allah. Brothers and sisters, this is the same Prophet on a daily basis we betray. On a daily basis, the Prophet says to us, he says pray, he says fast, he says focus on this religion. And you find that each day we betray our Prophet. And I'm coming towards the end of the hadith inshallah as well now. And the Prophet says, oh my Lord, the miserables of my community, your judgments are applied against them. Allow me to intercede on their behalf. Allah says, you may go and intercede. Malik says, their condition is critical, O Rasulullah. Rasulullah says, show them to me. And the people cry out, they say, oh Muhammad, our skin is burned. And the fire has burned our guts. Do you know why the fire burned their guts? Because the water that you're given in hellfire is boiling hot water. And the problem is, you're always thirsty. It's like salt water. The more you drink, the more you want. And the problem is with hell, there's no death. So you continue and you continue and you continue. And they say that Rasulullah, he takes them out when they are burnt to coal. He will lead them to a river of the gate of paradise. And in this river they swim and emerge rejuvenated and very fine without any flaws. And their faces are like the full moon. But you know what the downside to that is? It will be written on their foreheads, the people of hell, that Allah has freed from the fire and they will enter paradise. You know what they say when you have a chip on your shoulder? Brothers and sisters, now is the time to change. Brothers and sisters, there will be never a better time to change than today. And if we don't change today, then I promise you, brothers and sisters, that we will be the losers on the day of Hisab, on the day of accounting. And before I go into my Messiah, I want to highlight very importantly that on the 10th of Muharam there were many people who saved themselves from the hellfire. And one of these people was Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. Brothers and sisters, sometimes in life you have to make the decision between heaven and hell. And it literally is one decision. One decision could be the means of going to heaven and hell, and you have to pick that decision. Now don't forget, Hur was that individual who redirected Abu Abdullah to Nainawa, to Karbala. He was that man who confronted Abu Abdullah, and Abu Abdullah said to him, he said, may your mother weep over you. To which Hur said, very beautifully, he said, oh Abu Abdullah, if you were any other man, I would have spoke of your mother. How can I speak of your mother when you are the son of Fatima al-Zahra, salawatullah wasalam. How can I speak negatively of you? And you find that there were many things that made Hur come towards Abu Abdullah on the 10th of Muharram. What were those things? The first thing was the betrayal of Umar ibn Sa'd. Because Umar ibn Sa'd had told Hur that we will not kill Abu Abdullah, we just want the pledge of allegiance and then we will leave him alone. That's all we want, just the pledge of allegiance. That was one thing. Another thing that changed the mind of Hur was the fact that, brothers and sisters, that when Hur saw the state of the children and the horses were given water but the children were not given water, Hur says that on that 10th of Muharram, the final thing that got me was the children. He said we had horses that we were giving water to. We were bathing the horses in water and all we could hear was the cries of Al-Atash, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. We could hear the cries. We could hear the cries of the daughters of Rasulullah saying the thirst is killing us. They were crying, Al-Atash, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. I would say, oh, when you saw the state of the children, you became very sad. But how was it for Uncle Abbas? When Sakina came towards Abbas and said, oh Uncle, I am thirsty. The 6-month-old baby is thirsty. We the children are thirsty. I would say, oh, tell me about the 6-month-old baby that instead of water they gave him an arrow and they quenched his thirst with his own blood. They say Hur went towards his slave and said to his slave, I want to go towards Abu Abdullah. The man that was with Hur began to say to Hur, oh Hur, Abu Abdullah will never forgive you. Do not go towards Abu Abdullah. Hur goes towards Abu Abdullah and they say Abu Abdullah sees Hur. And Hur sees Abu Abdullah. Hur begins to fall at the feet of Abu Abdullah. I would say, oh Hur, today you are falling at the feet of Abu Abdullah. Later in the day, Shimar will be on the chest of Abu Abdullah. Brothers, do you know how Shimar removed the head of Abu Abdullah? They say when you kill an animal and make it halal, you use a very sharp sword and one strike, you kill the animal and you give it some water. On the 10th of Muharram, Shimar used a blade that was so blunt that they say Shimar used 12 strikes on the neck of Abu Abdullah before removing his head. When you went towards the battlefield, you began to fight the enemies, and it says in the Maqtal that you killed 40 men. Eventually came a time where you were struck down, and you are lying on the ground, and Abu Abdullah comes towards you, and he says, may your mother be proud of you, you are free in this world, and you are free in the hereafter, as your mother named you. They they say the head of all was in the lap of Abdullah. Why would say of Abdullah in a few moments time? In your lap will be the 6-month-old baby. When the arrow pierces the baby's neck, the blood of the baby will be on your hands. You will try to throw it to the ground, and the ground will say, I couldn't accept the blood. You will try to throw it towards the sky, and the sky will say, I cannot accept the blood of the Masoom. Oh, Abdullah Muslim, were you that you had to wipe the blood of the 6-month-old baby upon your bed?